Welcome, everyone, to Meet the Team webinar brought to you by Web Insurance. We're thrilled to have you join us today for an exclusive glimpse behind the scenes of our dedicated team of insurance professionals here at Web Insurance. Our commitment goes beyond policies and premiums. We believe that a strong, knowledgeable team is the foundation to excellent service today. And you'll get to know these faces. You'll get to know these team members that are behind the scenes with their experience, their skills, their passions, and what brings them to the table today. But today's not about policies and procedures. No, no, no. It's about getting to know who they are as people. I am your host, Nathan Bush. I am so excited that you're here today to share with us in this October Meet the Team for Web Insurance. Today, we're going to be talking to the commercial team for Web Insurance, and we are extremely excited for you to get to know and meet some of them. But before we do that, I have got this quote that I pulled from the internet. Simon Sinek, this is what he had to say. He said, "Life is beautiful not because of the things we see or do. Life is beautiful because of the people we meet." And today I want to introduce you to some wonderful people that are on our team, friends that I've come to know, people that I care about. And I'll tell you, these are some of the best hardworking people I have ever met in my entire life. They're passionate, they care about you, but I think that that will come through when you see just who they are deep down inside. All right. So without further ado, I am going to bring up for you Kim Rowe. She is a commercial lines account manager with us. Kim Rowe brings 25 years of experience to the insurance industry. And let me bring her up on stage with me. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Just fine, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. I am so excited to speak with you, Kim, because you have been in the insurance industry for 25 years. How has your insurance experience um, kind of, how is it, how would you say that you navigate the landscape of insurance? It's changed over 25 years. And so what advice would you give somebody who's kind of just starting off in insurance as we get to know who Kim is?
Well, somebody coming into the field, I would first say, run. No, just teasing. But be knowledgeable on your products as you're presenting them, be able to answer all questions, and always listen to the customer. Um, they will talk, but you're going to get hints on what they do need. You need to build that trust factor.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I'm sure that trust is something that's extremely important to you. In fact, it's probably important enough that it's helped you to achieve certain things in your career. Like I know that you have won like experiences to Myrtle Beach and things like that throughout your 25-year career. And it's been really exciting for you to be able to be a part of being on winning teams over your insurance career. Can you share a memorable lesson from your experience of winning these awards and going to Myrtle Beach and being a part of all of these top producers and high earners and high achievers in insurance?
Well, watching everybody at these award banquets, it's phenomenal. The amount of people that work hard and they get acknowledgement from that.
For sure, for sure. And I mean, it goes to say with you, like I know you work hard. I know you put in extra hours. I know you're here, before most of us get in, and sometimes after all of us leave, making sure that clients are taken care of and the such. So, when you and I were talking, you had mentioned that you enjoy like crafting and painting in your free time. Is there a particular like crafting project or artwork that you're particularly proud of? And how does this reflect your creative side, outside of work?
It is a stress reducer, number one. I just enjoy doing about any kind of crafts. Right now, I'm working on um, a centerpiece for my mom's Thanksgiving table and different pieces around her house. And of course, I decorate the office too. So, um, and I paint. I I paint on stones and rocks, all kinds of different things.
Yeah, you're definitely the office decorator, and you definitely bring the party to the office and have changed some of the atmosphere and culture since you've been with Web Insurance. And so I completely, as a team member, appreciate that part of you and what you bring to the team here at Web Insurance. We're talking with Kim Rowe, account manager for the commercial lines for Web Insurance. And Kim, before we hop off, I want to ask you this question. The theme of October, what would you say frightens you?
Doing this.
Come on now. Being on camera and talking to people and having to be polished and cleaned up and all that kind of stuff. You like kind of just being able to do your normal thing every single day, huh? This is a little
Absolutely. And I don't like spiders either.
spiders, spiders and being on camera. Well, there you have it, guys. I really appreciate you being with us today, Kim. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us here on the Web Insurance webinar today to talk about commercial lines insurance and who you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Kim loves to be on camera, and she absolutely loves spiders. So if you get to talk to Kim, make sure that you bring up her passion projects there. Now, one of the fun things that we have here at Web Insurance from time to time is fun facts. We share them around the office, and we often like to find interesting things. And here's something that popped up: Switzerland prohibits ownership of just one guinea pig. I guess you can have two in Switzerland. You just can't have one. All right. So, with that said, we do have two commercial line account managers here at Web Insurance. And the second commercial line account manager is David Quest. David Quest has recently joined our team. We're excited to have him. He's had a long career in insurance. And let me bring up David today. Hi, David. How are you?
Oh, pretty good.
Oh, it's good to have you here, man. Thanks for being on the webinar today.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Look forward to
I
it.
we appreciate you doing this. You know, guys, for those of you that are watching on replay, we are talking today to the commercial lines insurance team here at Web Insurance, and Dave Quest is an account manager. He's our second commercial lines account manager. And Dave, your career in insurance has allowed you to assist clients during some significant life events. Can you share a bit more about the challenges and rewards of helping clients navigate such emotional and difficult situations, whether it be the loss of a loved one or a giant commercial loss that you've dealt with over your career?
I had one that was unfortunately pretty sad. I had a gentleman come in. He was a contractor and let me know that he needed to file a claim and helped him with that. He had been sitting at a stoplight and got hit head on from another driver. Unfortunately, that wasn't so bad, but later on found out that his daughter, who was in the car and was injured in the accident, actually passed away. So
Oh my gosh.
it was a pretty rough conversation. I think it was the worst one I think I've ever had in my life. Talking to him about that, but we got to talk it through that and made sure that the hospital bills were paid and those type of things, and of course get his van going again. And he got back on his feet. Unfortunately, we can't. Insurance tries to get you back to where you were, and that's just, that did happen, which was a good thing. But yeah, unfortunately, couldn't do anything for his lost daughter on it. That was a pretty sad day. But he's back in business and he's doing just fine, on that otherwise. But
Yeah, it's always a travesty when something happens where somebody is injured or we lose a loved one, and
yeah,
that can be very difficult and emotional to deal with. And the fact that you have that kind of experience to be able to help somebody in these times of need really speaks to the testament of why having you at Web Insurance is so important. Because at Web Insurance, we don't just offer insurance policies, guys. What we do at Web Insurance is so different. We insure and make sure that if there is something that happens, we help handhold you through that claims process. We make sure that those changes get done. We make sure that your certificates get out to the people that need those things. And so that can be a lot of work. I mean, I don't know if you've ever mailed 300 certificates before in your life, but to print those, stuff them in an envelope, and mail them out to the right people, that could be a time consuming, challenging thing. And we make sure those things are done in a timely fashion. We make sure that when you need something, we're here for you, not just to purchase the policy, but also after the policy. And that's what makes web insurance so uniquely different, is not just the experience of making sure that you have the most affordable premiums and that we remarket those premiums on an annual basis if need be, if we see increases happening, but we also make sure that the claims process is taken care of and you're taken care of. So I appreciate that experience that you have, Dave, because it really does help people better understand when they come to web insurance with a challenge or an issue, when they're going through something, that we can be there to help them navigate that we've dealt with some really challenging issues in the past, like you have, and that experience speaks volumes for what we can do. So changing gears just a little bit, I know that you fly control gliders, and that's like a passion of yours, and we've
Sure.
talked a lot about that inside the office. And you know, it's quite a unique hobby, actually. Could you tell us your most memorable, thrilling glider flight and experience, and how it relates to your leadership role in the glider club specifically? For those of you that don't know, Dave flies the remote control glider airplanes. He's a president of a glider club, or has been the president in the past. Why don't you speak a little bit to kind of your leadership role in that glider club and what it means to you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's one of the things with the club is we have a lot of different members and a lot of different experiences also on that. One of the things that I got to enjoy, I had one of our longest flights in the club for 2 hours and 8 minutes. And again, this is no motors or engines or anything on it. So that was pretty fun. But I like to be able to show folks that they don't have to spend crazy amounts of money to have fun. And, I don't go with the most things. You can get very expensive with some of these planes, but I've done pretty well with some of the cheaper plane and some things like that. And just really the biggest thing was just showing people doing the right thing, because where we fly is actually on a sod farm and it is their crop. So we have to be very careful with what we do on there. So it's something that I kind of try to show people just by my actions of what I do, and how I take care of the field and make sure we don't do anything that's going to cause any damage. And on top of that, sometimes nudge some members and say, hey, I don't know if you remember this rule, but we're not supposed to do this or that, whatever, that depends on that. But sometimes you have to call some people out a little bit, but be, nice about it and explain why. And most people understand that. And it's been a fun experience for me all these years. And I've enjoyed it. And it's always a challenge because some days you get to go up and you're down in 3 minutes. And other times you're up and you're out for 2 hours and 8 minutes, but and everything in between. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome, Dave. And I have to say too, because it's an insurance program, I do have to ask you, how does somebody get one of those gliders? Like, if you do have one of the expensive ones, how do they typically cover that? And then from an insurance perspective?
Actually, you're kind of on your own. I think it may, I was kind of thinking about that, but I haven't looked into it too much. It's pretty much on your own. There's no really insurance to cover something like that, unfortunately. I wish there was, because I've had a few crashes that I would have liked to put in a claim, but it didn't.
It's good to know, because there is certain things that insurance, there's just not an insurance product for it, and people need to
Yeah.
recognize that and understand that and know that it's okay that if there's not an insurance product for something, but if there is, there's probably a reason for it. And so that's why we talk about those things with our clients at Web Insurance. And I can tell how passionate you are for not just the flying club, but also for caring about the space around you. And also, you've talked a lot about how much you care about your family. It's clear that that family is important to you, at least in the office. I can tell you hands down, guys, that I've had lots of conversations with Dave and about his family. How do you balance your passion for the aviation, the commercial account manager role, and your family life, and kind of what's your secret to managing all that effectively?
Oh, well, I'm a little bit lucky now because 2 out of 3 of my daughters are out of the house. So that makes it a little bit easier on that. When they were little, that was very, very difficult. But and actually, I kind of retired. I kind of retired for a few years and got back into it once they got older and Dad wasn't very interesting anymore. I kind of start getting back into it, really. But yeah, time wise, it does take a bit of time on that. And when the weather's nice, I told my weather a long time, my my wife a long time ago that, if it's nice, I probably go flying. The chores will always be there. So she's probably not always that happy. But if there's something important, obviously we're going to do that. So take care of that. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that tidbit of information, is that the important things, you got to make sure that those get taken care of. That's so true. That is absolutely so true. All right, we're talking with David Quist, Commercial Lines Account Manager with Web Insurance here. And David, in lieu of the October Halloween that's coming up, I do have to ask you and every team member on this show today, what frightens you?
What frightens me are, I guess, wasps.
Yeah, those pesky little things.
I got to have the experience of getting stung by one several times in my back while I was flying my plane this summer.
Oh, it's awful. That is the absolute worst. Yeah, wasps frighten me as well. I have to say, David, thank you very much for being with us. I appreciate you being on the show today. And thanks for all the hard work that you and Kim both do with Web Insurance. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys. So we were talking with David Quest, our Commercial Lines Account Manager. And in Web Insurance, I told you, we have these little fun factoids, little things that from time to time we share in the office. And here was one of the funny ones that came up too. Human teeth are the only part of the body that can't heal themselves. I don't know why I find that interesting. It's all right. It's all right. We got another wonderful team member here, a very hardworking team member that I'd like to bring up to the stage. Puts in a lot of effort for you guys. She is a dynamo when it comes to being newer to the property and casualty side, and just picking things up and running with them and being able to do a great job at all of those things. And so I'd like to bring up here Judette. Uh, I told her that I would promise you guys that I would say her last name correctly, but I promise you I'm going to butcher it. Let's ask Judette so I can make sure I get it. Raluki? I don't. I'm gonna let Judette share that with you. How do you say your last name, Judette? Everybody wants to know.
Hi, it's Royuki.
Royuki. We're gonna get that correct, so that I got it down, because it's a interesting last name, because it's not American.
Yeah,
right? It's Filipino.
that's correct.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you having you on a team and coming to us all the way from the Philippines today. No, that's incredible. And I appreciate the journey that you've had. In fact, you've had an incredible journey in your insurance career. You started off in life insurance and then went to property and casualty insurance. And that's quite fascinating. Can you share a little bit about your experience in both areas and how they've shaped your perspective on insurance and the value it provides to individuals and businesses?
Sure. Transitioning from life insurance to property and casualty insurance actually have valuable insight when it comes to broader insurance industry. So life insurance focuses on long-term financial security, while I learned that property and casualty insurance deals with protection against unexpected events. So the shift provided a more holistic understanding of risk management, and experiences in both areas actually have allowed me to see the value that insurance provides by, of course, safeguarding our assets, income, and over financial stability, which is not that common knowledge when it comes to the Philippines. So it affected me and the people around me by having the knowledge that I have right now, because we are more equipped in life, I guess, both for unexpected events and as well as for long-term financial security.
Wonderful, Judette. Yes, see, you guys can see we're talking with Judette, who's a commercial lines client support for you. And she has come to our organization within this last year and done a great job picking everything up, learning the industry. And you can see she's very intelligent in understanding the risk management on a holistic perspective. And so we're just very grateful that she's a part of our team and that she's here to help serve you guys in the audience. So if you're coming to Web Insurance for the first time, or you're considering Web Insurance, or you're a long-term client of ours, we want to let you know how wonderful and what a great job these people are doing, whether it's Kim or David or Judette. These are hardworking, well trained, well developing professionals that are here to help and serve all of your insurance needs when it comes to property and casualty. So, Judette, I know that you are also, for fun on the side, a published author. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I, I love writing. It's one of my passions as well. Can you tell us more about your writing projects and how you balance this as a creative outlet with your responsibilities at Web Insurance?
Sure. Well, balancing my role in insurance and with my writing projects is actually challenging but fulfilling. So, my writing projects typically involve working on novels, short stories, and articles. I'm just locally published, but yeah, I often allocate my time during evenings and weekends to, of course, still hone my creative side. But I find that my experiences in insurance can also provide inspiration to my writing. So it is a delicate balance, but I've learned to manage my time effectively because writing and then working on insurance, they both have, setting goals and deadlines. So it maintains my productivity in both aspects of life by um, incorporating both of them. So anything I learned from insurance, I can also bring in writing, and everything I've also learned while writing, I can somehow also impart as someone working for insurance as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think having a creative outlet is something that's extremely important. Now, I also know a little interesting factoid about you that maybe most people don't know, that you and your husband like to do games, like you're gamers. And so, how do you find the gaming experience translates into your professional life and insurance? Are there skills and lessons that you can apply from gaming that you've learned that you've done to work?
Yes, there are several skills and lessons from gaming that I actually apply for work. First would be gaming teaches teamwork and communication. So these two are crucial in insurance when collaborating with colleagues and clients. And lastly, gaming has improved my ability to, I guess, adapt to changing scenarios, which is also a valuable skill, if you ask me, in the world of insurance. So, surprisingly, gaming has made me a more adaptable, analytical, collaborative insurance professional somehow.
Yeah, for sure. We can definitely tell that at Web Insurance. Like you definitely have great teamwork skills. You're creative, and all of those things that we've talked about are wonderful representations of just the extra work that you've done for our organization, and we're appreciative of that. Now, your background in the Philippines and your passion for educating people about insurance are both commendable. Could you share an experience where your insurance knowledge had a significant difference in somebody's life, whether it was in the Philippines or currently at Web Insurance?
Sure. For since I'm quite new to casualty and property, my most memorable would be the one with life insurance. There was a time when I helped a family in the Philippines secure a life insurance policy, and it provided them protection when a typhoon that was really bad hit one of our provinces. So the policy brought peace of mind to the family, ensuring that they're financially secure. So I think this experience highlights my insurance experience because I was able to make a difference to other people's lives, which is basically the one of our goals while working for insurance is to extend help and always have a helping hand ready for those who need it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Judette. I appreciate that. That is important that you have been through experiences like that and know that when there's tough emotional times, that the work that you do has a major impact in people's lives. And so that's incredibly important to the organization and to the people that we serve. Now, I do have to ask you, in light of the upcoming holiday for Halloween, what frightens you?
Monthly bills. I'm just kidding.
Me too. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, so thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for being with us today, Judette. We were talking with Judette Raluki. Ra, Ra,
Roll
one more
Yuki.
Rayuki. We will get it correct. over a period of time. We just got to practice it enough, right? We just call you by your first name so much. We don't say, "Hey, Ryuki." We just say, "Hey, Jeanette."
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. But it's nice and it's wonderful, and it's also shows the diversity of our organization. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being a part of our organization and our team.
Thank you so much.
All right, so there you have it, guys. And again, for those of you that are watching online, we do have random facts we pass around in the office. If you're just joining with us, I am with Web Insurance, and we are talking to the commercial insurance team about just themselves, getting to know each one of the team members in the commercial insurance team. And each time that we've brought up a team member, that have also shared a thing that's frightened them, something that's related to Halloween. And then now we're talking about random facts. So we've also been incorporating some random facts for you. And here it is on the screen. The world's oldest bookstore in Lisbon, Portugal, has been open since 1732. I don't know why I found that to be spooky and appropriate for today's show, but maybe it just has to go. I don't know. Maybe there's ghosts or something there. Who knows? All right. Now, bring to the stage our next team member, who happens to be our vice president of risk management. And this gentleman has been with our insurance for a while now, over 25 years in the insurance industry, Scott, and you have done a lot over your career. In fact, you've has significant impact here at Web Insurance, and you've had a significant impact in the lives of hundreds of people that are within the book of business that we serve here. What are some of your most significant changes or trends that you've seen over your career that's influenced your approach as a risk management advisor?
I've been in the industry for over 31 years. So in that time frame, there have been so many changes. It's kind of difficult to pick out a couple, but I would say the biggest changes that I've seen is it ranges from types of coverages that are provided to the requirements for insuring the different risks.
Yeah, I mean, we recently did a webinar together on the hard market and how things have kind of changed even just this last year between carriers and just, premiums going up in different places and, and how to navigate that. The cool thing about web insurance is we have options, right? I mean, that's what makes our organization different. We are not stuck with one carrier. We're able to utilize a variety of different carriers within our broker network in order to be able to help keep our premiums the most affordable so we can remarket those things. So, that's, we did a whole webinar, guys. Go back and check out that previous webinar with Scott. He did a fantastic job explaining what's going on in the current insurance market. However, I know that you in the past have been an active member of things like BNI, Chamber of Commerce, Town and Country Chamber of Commerce, Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. I know that you're deeply involved in the community and different things that are going on around the area here in St. Charles. How does being engaged in the community benefit your role at Web Insurance, and what's motivated you to become actively involved in these different organizations?
I would say that being active in different organizations gives me an opportunity to meet and interact with different people, all different types of people, which is it's good and can translate into how we're dealing with clients because you're talking with different people and you're meeting different people. It also doesn't hurt to meet new people because if they're thinking about their insurance, and they know what I do, then that's an opportunity for them to reach out to me to see how I can help.
Yeah. And speaking of help, I'm sure as the vice president of risk management for Web Insurance and your 31 years of experience that you've had in the insurance, you've probably, Scott, encountered a wide range of complex insurance situations, more than the new person who just gets started will ever possibly could have experienced, just because of the nature of being in the business for so long. Can you share a particularly challenging experience with the audience, maybe some of our clients or somebody that's thinking about web insurance for the first time? Can you share a particularly challenging experience or case scenario that you've worked on in the past and strategies employed to find kind of a suitable insurance solution for that client?
I would say first, just in general, I would say that we run into complex risks on a daily basis. We have to review we have to review things, we have to analyze it, and then collaborate with our team to determine the best approach for that. In particular, we've just had a number of, we're right now dealing with an issue in the industry where one of our carriers is not providing coverage for some of our clients right now. They've gotten out of the state of Missouri, and that is very challenging to find coverage for those clients. And so we're having to reach out to our different resources to see what's available for us. But it's a team approach. I have to get, we have to work together and to determine what the best course of action is.
Yeah, I mean, we're speaking with Scott Taylor right now, guys, the Senior Vice President of Risk. If you're online and you're watching this on replay, understand that we're walking through each team member to help you better understand them and the challenges and how to navigate different aspects of your insurance, but also to get to know them a little bit better. I mean, good Lord, if you don't know Scott and you've been with us for any length of time, there's a challenge. So you should just get to meet him right now and say hi to him online, put a comment online, do those types of things, because he's been with us for so long and is so instrumental into every aspect and critical nook and cranny of our business. I mean, whether it's a process or system that he's working on inside our organization, whether it's a team member that he's helping to achieve these goals, whether he's talking through complex insurance scenarios. This is, when we talk about hardworking professionals, this commercial insurance team, I put my hands down to them and sing their praises all day long for the wonderful work that they do and the effort that they put in for commercial insurance. And so, Scott, I know that with all that being said, with the hard work and all the stuff that you do outside of your professional life, you mentioned your involvement in your church and community. And how do these personal interests and commitments that you have align with your values as an insurance professional? And how do they influence your approach to serving our clients in this way?
I would say that it's important to know your community and be as involved in your community as possible. Like we do here in the insurance industry, or what we do here with our insurance agency, where we're helping people, take that same approach to your community. It can be very valuable, not only to the people in the community, but yourself. Valuable. It's good to meet new people, and it's an outlet as well.
Yeah, meeting new people. I mean, you can hear a constant theme, guys, throughout our entire team here. We like to meet people. We like to get to know people. We like to be a part of the community. We like to, have fun. We have families, and these things are all consistent in the insurance. And I think that they're all important. And those are all the fun side of life. But being in the month of October, I have got to ask you the same question that we've been asking everybody, Scott. What frightens you?
This doesn't really have anything to do with Halloween, but sharks. I have a huge phobia of sharks.
Well, you and I are in the same boat. I have an irrational fear of sharks as well, and I have plenty of stories about how embarrassing and how awful of a human being I become whenever I'm in the ocean and there's creatures swimming around. So
Right. Stay away.
it is not the right environment for me. I keep myself on land.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Scott, for
Thank you,
being a
Nathan.
part of our show today. And I hope you guys got to meet a little bit and get to know a little bit more about Scott Taylor, because he's instrumental in a major part of our organization. We are going to move on. So thank you, Scott, for being a part of the show today. All right. Fun factoid. Here we go. This was an interesting one here. Australia is wider than the moon. Australia is wider than the moon. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Maybe these facts are true. Maybe they're, I don't know. I'm assuming they're true. I did pull them off the internet. Gosh knows we know everything on the internet's true. So anyways, that's why you're getting to meet all of the people in here directly from the team members here at Web Insurance. You're learning all about who they are, kind of what their interests are, and getting to know them, because we don't always have time to talk to each one of the team members who are part of the organizations and the companies that we work for. And so that's why we provide this for you online, so you have the opportunity to get to know and meet and learn about each one of the team members who are working on your commercial insurance, whether you're a small landscaper or your commercial tree service, or you're a small auto body shop, or you're a small contractor, or you're a large organization, you're a big business, you're a mega church. What if we insure you, or there's a potential that we can insure you? It's important that you know who these people are that are working on your insurance behind the scenes to make sure that things are done correctly. And with that said, making sure things are done correctly, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up to the stage here our next guest, and the owner and president of Webb Insurance, Mike Webb. And Mike, you have decades of experience in the insurance industry as well. I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you for taking your time to do this for everybody.
Thank you, Nathan.
All right, guys. So Michael has nearly 3 decades of experience in the insurance industry, and Mike, I know you've seen changes. Things are changing. They're changing in the market right now. We just talked about in our team meeting, things are changing. Can you share some insights into how the field of insurance has evolved during your career and how these changes have impacted the services you provide for your clients today?
Sure thing. A little bit of history. I actually kind of grew up in the business. My father was an agent. So I was introduced actually in the middle school period of time in my life to insurance and throughout high school. And periodically when I was at Mizzou, I'd go back and work with him in that agency during the summer and so on and so forth. And when I think about over the past, oh my gosh, now I'm not going to talk about the amount of time. I'll just say that it's been interesting from very simplistic ways of writing business. When I think about the late 80s and early 90s, to where they're using credit scoring. There's technology being used, drones, all those things that have changed the way that we have to look at business. And it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because you can see absolutely everything. You get to know the risk. And what I mean by that is it's a blessing that we get to know all of that, but sometimes the curse is you get to know all of that, so we want to make sure that it's right for the client. And that's the most important thing. We have 3 clients that we serve, and being an independent agency, we have to, of course, work with our insurance companies. We work with our clients and we work with our agents, and we want to make sure that we have that in that inverted funnel. When you look at the way that we manage, we want to take care of all those folks.
Yeah, I can totally tell that. And every time we have conversations about the direction that you're taking the organization as we navigate some of the changes and complexities in the markets, you're always client focused, always focused about the clients and our team and caring about us and all and the clients as well. So that is a testament to your leadership. And I'm so excited to work in an organization where the owner of the organization, the president of the organization, cares so deeply about each individual that works there and the people that they serve as clients. That both are always thought about and talked about in every conversation.
Yeah,
And yeah, for sure. Your dedication to continuing education and professional development, Mike, is evident with your CLU and CHFC designations. How have these qualifications enhanced your ability to serve your clients, and what motivated you to pursue them?
So the CLU stands for Charter Life Underwriter, and CHFC stands for Chartered Financial Consultant. These are courses that are earned. You have to have practical time in the business. You have to, of course, take exams for these. And when you think about the designations themselves, it blends over into the commercial insurance side heavily. And in working with business owners or working with individuals who are also business owners, you have to get to know them. You have to get to know their risk. Whenever we talk about areas of risk through a sister company in St. Charles Financial Services, there's 7, 8 main areas of risk that we have to talk about. And so protection and liability is one of those. I always say, hey, you know what? You want to make somebody else the deep pocket, not your assets. And that's ends up being where, hey, buying the right coverage makes the most sense. And when we look at the course work that is involved in those, from estate planning to business valuation, business planning, income stream during retirement, how do we end up doing what? Making sure that you keep your wealth, not lose it. All these things are very, very important. And when you blend in the right commercial insurance coverage to that, and it's done the right way, it's so important to that business owner and to the family. We want to make sure it's right.
Yeah, and you're focused on that. Like that's every aspect of everything that we talk about as an organization is making sure that it's done right. Also, as a lifelong resident of St. Charles, your connection to the community is undoubtedly strong. How has your local experience and personal familiarity with the area benefited your clients when it comes to tailoring insurance solutions to their unique needs, Mike?
Sure thing. I have born and raised in this area and outside of my years when I was at Mizzou. And at the end of the day, it comes down to everything's about community. Being anywhere from I've been a board member for the local Kiwanis Club, another organization, a limited play. These organizations are really children focused. And when you take a look at the future, I mean, we talk about it all the time. All families do. Children are the future, and if we can make that better from the perspective of better leaders, better citizens, become more knowledgeable, how can we continue to improve it? That's the bottom line. And I sure hope that the next generation, including my daughters, are much better than I am, because that means good things for us, for the community, and for the nation.
Yeah. I appreciate that, and I'm sure our audience does too. And so, Mike, as we wrap up our conversation today, I think it's important that we take time. Can you share a particular memorable success story from your career where your experience and dedication made a significant difference in a client's life or the business, their
Absolutely.
business?
Yeah, I'd like to probably share a couple. One specifically on the commercial line side, where we had somebody reach out in the St. Louis area who they were a property developer, actually had quite an extensive portfolio, and it just changed to us. This has been quite some time ago, and we started writing the policies for those buildings. And one of them was a very large building. It was actually an 8-story building, and everything had been renovated, but things happen, right? We have one of those very cold winters, and on the 8th floor, that there had been a burst pipe, and it proceeded to flood every floor of the building. So it ended up being a high 6-figure loss, if I remember correctly. And because of the way that we wrote the building, the client was more than happy with all the lines of coverage that they had. We've also seen this on the liability insurance side, and you hate to see these scenes on the road to where you have somebody driving a heavy truck and something happens, whether it be from a weather standpoint or something else. Sometimes somebody can swerve in a lane, and what's your natural reaction? You kind of jerk and try to avoid that, right? And you have to make it that split-second decision. I remember at one time years ago, we did have a total loss in that situation. Thankfully, there had been no fatalities, but that's the reason why we wanted to make sure that policies are written right. Lastly, an individual who is also a business owner who had bought a policy after we had completed some planning for them on the long-term care side, longevity side, to where the policy was put into place in the spring. It was in May. The individual had retired, and unfortunately, by the month of August, had had a pretty massive stroke. And knowing that was able to alleviate so much financial burden by having that protection, that's the real life story, right? And I have so many more, including life insurance and other areas. But that's the bottom line, and the reason why we're so passionate about this is looking at A to Z. How can we end up not only protecting the family owner, the business, but also wrapping that up into the other companies that we also have here, so that we can really work this A to Z. And that's always exciting for me because at the end of the day, we want to be able to provide a true valuable service to the community.
Yeah, and I if working here for a period of time, we do. I've seen it. I've watched you guys take care of endless clients with their changes and requests and needs and different aspects of all of the back end mechanics. Like I never knew how much effort and energy went into caring for the clients from an insurance perspective. I thought I just paid premiums and then the insurance was there. But everything from making sure the changes get in, or making sure that people get their certificates when they need them, through the aspect of when there's a claim and helping to navigate people through that process. That level of service is just, it's not out there anymore, Mike.
Yeah,
How did you determine to do all that?
There have been certain people in my life that have been influenced. I've had a couple of mentors when I look back over the 30 plus years of being in business. And when you really think about what you can do to make a change in somebody's life, One of them, for example, his first name is Don. One of the things he said is, because he was speaking to a group of us, he said, you know what? What's going to happen if something happens to you? And how does your family react? And how do they know? Well, in addition to the estate planning documents and things that you have to have, he said, you know what? Why don't you leave them a love letter? And basically, all that means is tell them where things are, how much you cared, how much you're looking for, even though you won't be there, how much they can do in the future. And, it's just, it builds them up. And I would even take it a step further. Some people are doing this with videos and things like that, right? So, it's not just financial, it's just insurance, it's the holistic aspect of what we can do for people, and just little bits and pieces of that. When you think about how over time you work with clients, it just adds up. And that's the kind of value that we want to be able to provide to our clients, to the community, and really look at it not short term, but short term and long term. So that's very important to us.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today, Mike. I do have to ask you the same question we've been asking everybody for the month of October. What frightens you?
Wow. Ever since I saw that, Nathan, in front, I'm kind of like, I'm not exactly sure I'm going to answer that. But, the thing that wakes me up sometimes is making sure that what we do from start to finish really matters. Did we do everything that we could do in that period of time? And to answer that, I always tell people we want to excel. We want to be great. But at the same time, any client that walks in that door that thinks we're going to get it right 100% of the time, my answer to that. I tell this to everybody. We're going to get it right the majority of the time. But whoever tells you it's going to be 100%, we know that's not true. But we want to continue to excel, provide good value to the community. We'll do all that we can for our customers, the community, our friends, family. We want to be that kind of business.
Yeah. Yeah, I can totally tell that, and I appreciate that and respect that about our organization here, because it bleeds top down, bottom up. Everybody in the organization cares, and I think it's what keeps us all up at night, is if we're not providing great service for people, and there's something that there's an area of concern that we didn't address or didn't deal with or whatever, that is the thing that would keep anybody up at night that cares about their clients the way that we do. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Nathan, and thank you for everybody who logged into this in order to take a look at it.
All right, so there you have it, guys. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you have it. We have just about concluded our Meet the Team commercial insurance webinar that we've done for you guys to help you better understand who we are, who our organization is from a commercial insurance perspective. I'm appreciative that you guys have got to know and learn a little bit more about Kim, Dave, Judette, Scott, and Mike. And hopefully you have a better understanding of some of the wonderful things that they do behind the scenes for you, as well as have an understanding of a more personal connection of whether it's spiders or sharks, or whether it's just, not being able to sleep at night sometimes, because we want to make sure we're providing the absolute best service for you. We want you to have a better understanding of who we are and how much we do care about you and what makes a difference. That's the types of things in life, guys, that really matter, is when you get to know somebody for who they are, what they care about, and what they value. And speaking of value, we do value random facts in our office. And one more random fact for the day, in the lieu of October and the theme of Halloween. In Tokyo, you can have a dinner at a vampire-themed restaurant decorated with skulls and coffins. So there you have it. That's going to conclude our webinar for today. Appreciate you guys taking the time. If you enjoyed this, by the way, make sure you share it on Facebook. If you like these types of videos and you want to learn more about our team, you want to learn more about commercial insurance, you want to have a better understanding of who we are as an organization, you want to have a better understanding of how you're going to be cared for as a client, please head on over to YouTube, search up Web Insurance, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That will help you to better understand and know more information like this. If you like this, you'll love what we have coming up in store for you in the future. You guys take care. Thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us on today's webinar.